Hi guys, hi friends. Whoa, strong moon. Strong moon. It's my moon, Taurus moon. I felt like I just had to rant at camera today because I'm feeling supercharged with fiery passion about what the fucking hell is going on right now. And I just gotta voice it. And yes, how are you guys feeling out there? Because I'm feeling like I've just had enough. I've had enough of this bullshit situation. I've had enough of being manipulated by the powers that think they be. How much longer are we gonna let this go on? How much longer are we gonna remain passive observers? Whilst this shit just rolls out in front of us. Are we just gonna stand by and just watch it? Watch this ridiculous shit continue to unfold and transpire as the norm in our lives? You know what's happening, right? Can you feel it? How? It's time to wake up. Woo! It's time to wake up and see what's really going on here. It's time we're all waking up. My mum and dad are like the most conservative people ever. Tory voters, they refuse to watch the news right now. If they're not watching the news and refusing to, then fuck. Like, wow, it's an indication of like, if they're feeling angry and like they feel like something is highly dodgy about all of this mask wearing shenanigans and everything being moved into the digital realm, if they're feeling that as Tory voting conservative quite straight people, man, then us lot, the alternative ones and we need to be really blasting through and leading the way. Leading the way. It's not okay that everything is being made online. Are you seeing what's happening, guys? They are using this like false virus thing that actually isn't killing people. It's just they're manipulating the figures to make it seem like it is. Actually, a certain amount of people die from colds and flus every year anyway, and they're just calling those deaths COVID. There's no COVID. There's no COVID. We're being manipulated. They're using it as a smokescreen to change the fabric of our society and to make everything digital. They don't want us to be able to gather. They don't want us to be able to have fun. They don't want us to be able to laugh. And they don't want us to be human. Can you see the correlation between the fact that everything is being steered online now? Everything. And COVID. There's a direct correlation. So if I'm going to talk about anything in this little vlog today, I want to want to name two things. Firstly, that it is time to stand up and just like, how much are you going to take of this shit? You know? People are angry. Can you feel it? So I'm going to just also talk a little bit about healthy anger. Like, anger has been given a bad jip, yeah? Anger's not bad. Anger's only bad if it hits people or it destroys or it destructs negatively. Clean, healthily channeled anger can be a good thing. So don't be afraid of your anger. If you're starting to feel angry right now, then it's time to be, that's a message that you have the ability to do something in these times, to channel that anger like a sword of light, to cut through and to act. This is the healthy masculine, the ability to just do and stand up straight like a big penis and make changes. Because if we don't do anything in these continuing times of COVIDness, then we're going to get fucked up the arse by our governments. They don't have our best interests at heart. You really think they have our best interests at heart? I'm 43 years old, and my whole fucking life I have seen and felt this just deep down in the core of my being, that there's just the governments, it's just dodgy, it's just dark. They're not doing what they say they're doing. They're not here to help us. They're fucked up people. These are traumatized people running our worlds and our societies and our governments. And I'm also here to tell you, sorry, I know this is a strong rant, and this is also my truth, man. I also want to share with you a little bit in this vlog, and I'm going to calm down now a bit. It's full moon. I also want to share with you a little bit about why I know that our systems are run by deeply traumatized people, and why they're doing what they're doing right now, why they're acting how they're doing. I'm going to share something with you that I'm not particularly proud of, but I really don't give a shit. I'm just going to say it. So look, I was privately educated, yeah? I'm from my parents are cool, but they're a bit conservative, and they sent me to a British boarding school. They sent me away when I was 7 years old to an all-male boarding school environment, and I stayed there for 10 years until I was expelled. And I went through that system, that privately educated elite system, the system that creates our leaders. Here's a fact, all of our politicians and leaders went through that same system, that privileged system of education. That system of education is designed to produce broken leaders. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened to me at that school, at those two schools. Because I've been in therapy for the past 4 years after my beautiful wife Pamela left me, because I was forced by her leaving to deal with my behaviour, and so I had to go into therapy. And I've been in something called boarding school therapy for the past 4 years, and it's been really, really difficult, and I'm nearly done and come through. And in that 4 years of intensive therapy, every week, once a week, I have been held by an experienced boarding school therapist who knows and has been trained in dealing with the trauma that going to boarding school induces in a human being. And this is the same trauma that all of our politicians carry. And I know this because I've been through that system. And I've been in therapy, and I have a very clear understanding of the trauma that is deliberately induced at these schools to produce shadow leaders, shadow governments, shadow leadership. And I'm not going to bang on too much, and I'm probably going to dedicate a dedicated video to this subject, because I think it's time for people to hear. And I think that my spirit chose that experience so that I could go through that system and bring awareness to the common man of what happens in those schools, and the link between what happens in those schools and why we are being treated the way we are right now in the world. We are being abused by our leaders and our governments right now. Can you feel the abusiveness of being forced to wear a mask? Can you feel the abusiveness of not being able to go out and see your loved ones and drink in the pub and go to see live music and do what you want to do? Can you feel the abusiveness of that? Because that's what's happening right now. We're being abused en masse. And the reason that we're being abused and forced to wear masks, etc., under the guise of a false virus, is because our leaders were abused at their schools. And I know, because I went to one of those schools and I'd been through and I survived, but it took, my psyche took a severe knocking, a severe damaging, and I've been in therapy to heal that damaging. And yeah, this is a lot to go into in one little vlog video, and I think I'm going to make a specific video about it in the future. But just to let you know, I'm just letting you know, I'm cluing you in a little bit as to the concept of why things are the way they are in our world right now. They are the way they are because we have leaders that are carrying deep trauma, and because they were abused. What happens in these schools is abuse. When you send little boys away from their loving families and their loving mother at 7 years old, which is the norm for boarding schools, boys are sent away from their family home at 7 years old, and they go and they board in these schools. So they don't go home. They're all sleeping in dormitories with lots of little boys. That's what all our politicians went through. And what I've seen in my therapy is that when you send a little boy, and when you uproot him from the love of his family, and you send him away into an all-male environment, the psyche of that little boy gets completely brutalized. So a little boy, or a little girl for that matter, should grow up, in a healthy home, a healthy, loving, nurturing environment. But what happens when you send a little boy into an all-male environment full of draconian, intense rules, beatings, detentions, punishments if you don't do the right thing? What happens is that little boy gets that purity and the natural loving nature of a little boy gets squished down, really squished right down. It gets numbed. And what I've been doing in my therapy is I've been unnumbing that little boy. Initially in the therapy, I went to the therapy because I had so much anger pouring out of me to my beloved ex-partner, Pamela. She left, and I was like, what is this anger? Where's it coming from? And it's wild. It was lashing out. In my therapy, very quickly, I met a little boy in me that was just completely numb and shut down and squished from being sent away from my loving family and having to go into a threatening, traumatizing, all masculine, dominating, punishing environment where I was physically beaten probably about 40 times or 50 times by my headmaster. What happens to a little boy when that happens is he just withdraws and he shuts down and he numbs up. And then what happens to the psyche of anyone that goes through this school, that system, is that little boy, the only way he can get through this schooling is to just numb and shut down and survive. And that, my friends, is the wound that all of our leaders carry. All of our leaders who went to these boarding schools, they all have this same wounding to the psyche, which is essentially abuse. It's like our little boys got abused at those schools. And what's happening right now is that they are acting out that abuse on us, the people. Because these are times of deep healing where everything that is shadow is being pushed up to the surface. I'm sure you feel it. It's all coming up. It's all being pushed up. And that doesn't exclude our leaders. No one gets off. And what's happening right now is that abuse is being pushed up in our leaders, and it's thus getting acted out on us, the people, the common people. And this, my friends, is playing out across the whole flipping globe right now, which is really a serious situation. So what do? We start standing up. We start seeing through what's going on. We start analysing, questioning, not just towing the line like obedient school children who need to be told what to do and when to do it. And we start saying no to the abuse is what I reckon we could be doing and should be doing right now, is saying no to being abused by leaders who have traumatized and abused little boys, acting out through their actions right now, playing out their abuse onto us. So I'm here to just disclose this information. Most people who go to boarding school toe the line and end up in positions of power. I did not choose that route. I chose to rebel and thus I'm in the position right now of being someone that didn't toe the line, and I'm in a position to be able to bring this information to people and let you guys know about the psyche, the damaged psyche of the people in our positions of power, the people who are making the rules and the laws right now, the people who are telling us you will wear a mask or we will punish you. Because actually, that's what was told to them at school. Metaphorically, this is what we got taught at our boarding schools. You will wear a mask or we will punish you. That's what happened at our schools. You'll put on a fake ego mask in order to survive this school, or we will punish you. And that, my friends, is quite literally what's happening across the whole fucking planet right now. They're telling us, you will wear a mask or we will punish you. They're doing what was done to them as boys, little boys. It's a farce. And I'm here. I just said it. I won't need to say it again. So, there we go. That is why... Oh, that's why I feel so passionate. That's why I'm so passionate with my Facebook posts that seem to trigger lots of people. And actually, because I see what's going on, and I understand on some level the nature of the beast. And my friends, our governments, it's just a big beast that's deeply flawed with rotten roots. And yes, it's time for those rotten roots to heal. And they are only going to heal if we start saying no to being abused. If we don't start saying no, the route our society is going to increasingly head down is that one of increasing restriction on being able to be basically human. Everything is going to be digitalized. You won't be able to go out and have fun. I'm serious. If we don't start saying no to this stuff right now, our society is going to change in such a dark and horrible way, and then it will be too late. So it's time to start seeing what's going on and saying no to it. Because do you want to live in a digital society where you can't go out and have fun and see your mates and your family? Do you want that to become the norm? Where you can't celebrate Christmas with your fucking family? Because that's what's going to happen this Christmas. They're going to try and do that. And then it'll become the norm. And then we end up with a roboticized society that is inhuman because of trauma running through our governments and corporations. Because they all went to these private schools where they were wrong was done to them. And they're doing that wrong back to us as a society now. So, yeah, big, heavy, long vlog this week. But yeah, please, yeah, I don't know. That's all I got, man. I just tired myself out with saying this stuff. That's what I'm saying. I've been there. So yeah, just have a think about that. Okay. Chin up in these times, and let's not allow this badness to unfold. Let's allow goodness to unfold, and let's somehow find a way of bringing healing to these people, to our governments, and to love them into healing. But initially we have to find our anger and our rage to what's happening. For me, in my healing journey, the first part of my healing journey was anger. And then the anger moves and it shifts. But if you're feeling anger right now, that's good. It means that you're seeing what's going on. So keep feeling that anger, channel it. Act. Use it well. Use it well. It can be a good weapon. Our clean anger. Okay, that's all I got. Loads of love, people. Loads of love. We're going to change this. It's going to be good. This is a big blip in history, but we're going to get through it and we're going to be winning. This is all about healing. And our governments and our leaders, it's time for them to heal. and for them to heal the shadows and their wounds, and then they can stop doing what they're doing to us. Okay? Yeah, loads of love. Bye.